What's up you guys and welcome back to the channel. So here we are with more Train Sim World 2. We are on the Boston route and as you can see we are playing a scenario called Foundations. Now as part of this scenario we will need to create our consist for the day and then head down to Providence to start the passenger services. So we're going to do that in just a moment. For now guys, I just want to say welcome back to the channel. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd love it if you would. We are getting pretty close to that 1,000 marker now, and maybe we will have passed this maybe by the time you hear this video, who knows. But guys, if you're not subscribed, I would really appreciate it so much if you would do that. And if you enjoyed this video, please do leave me a like by all means. Now guys, what we're going to do is jump aboard this train. So let's see what we're doing. It's pretty dark here, so we're going to be sitting in the engineer's seat to start off with, which is up there. It's a little bit difficult to see how we're going to get up there at the moment. Just taking a look around here. Is it as simple as opening one of these doors? Is it open now? We're going to climb up. There we go. It's mega dark in here, guys. I'm not too sure what we're looking for. We've opened the window. Where's the door? There we go. We'll get that closed. Oh, we've got a train going by here, which is nice and cool. Obviously, the new DLC route is out next week, so I thought it would be a good chance for us to crack on with this one. I'm going to open the fuse cabinet here to start off with, and in the dark, although can we do a light? We could do a light at one point. I think it was circle to do that. It's not letting us do that now. I think there's another train going by there. Yeah, just there. We can hear it. Okay, let's see if we can get this sorted and then we can get on our way. Radio on. Can't see a single thing in here. This isn't a great start to this scenario. Yeah, it's kind of little things like this that sort of really niggle me with these scenarios, because you can't see a single thing. We could do with a cab light on in here. So what we're going to be doing here, set the headlight front to bright. Like that. So that's our headlight on. Set the isolation switch to start, stop, isolate. Isolation switch. Start, stop, isolate. There we go. We're going to press the AC power button on. And what's this one? So this is now the train line set up to Long Hood Trail. There we go. What's next? Isolation switch back to run. Can't tell if the engine's started now or not from the volume. We've got a cut-off valve which we are going to set to in. And we're going to switch this one to... So this is the MU-2A, which I really need to learn about because we do a lot with this one. On a couple of scenarios and routes. But this needs to be set correctly, so we want this on lead or dead. Sit back down again. We're going to set the engine run to on. And the field generator to on, and the control and fuel pump to on. What else have we got here? Reverser handle in. We want the automatic brake to release, like so. I did that on the trigger buttons. And we want the reverser to now forward. Can I do this on the D-pad? I'll try and do it on here just to avoid any issues, because obviously there's still issues with the control system, although it is allowing me now to do the external camera, so that's a good sign. I was using the keyboard for that. I figured out that by using the keyboard I could still do the external camera even when that wasn't allowing me to do that just during this issue. So we're going to get some power on, get moving a little bit, get a little bit more on I think, just to get us going. So here we go, moving along. Okay, we're going over the speed limit unfortunately. We've also got a red signal coming up. So we'll just let it roll on a little bit and then we'll hit the brakes in just a moment. There must be some switches here for instruments and such. I'm trying to think where they are now. They must be around here somewhere. Okay, let's just make sure we make this stop here. Some automatic brake on, like so. A little bit more. Right, that's doing absolutely nothing. So we'll do some independent brake before we run through this red light. The automatic brake was doing nothing for us there to stop us, but the independent brake is generally used for if you're just driving the loco on its own, so that's fine. We'll release the automatic brake. I think that'll come into effect once we've got the our consist together. If I could actually find the right words there. So what we're doing now, it's as if it wants us to go back a little bit. Stop at location. Can we switch the reverser back? Yeah, we can do that on the... It's actually the stick, the left stick. It's doing that right now. Okay, we'll back up. We'll switch to independent brake and release that. Let's reverse up a little bit. We'll just use throttle notch 1. 2 seemed a little bit much. We'll notch that off and then we'll just get some brake on. Although stopping too soon is not going to work, as we've just proved by being out of place for this stop. We want to be bang on it by the looks of things. So there we go, a little bit of independent brake back on again, and we've made a nice stop. So we want to be on this Pawtucket layover yard, track 3. So let's have a look, see where that one is. So it's this blue one here. So we'll just check it on here. So yeah, it's set up wrong. So we'll switch that one. That one's correct. And that one is wrong as well. So there we go. So that's sorted. Right, we're in reverse already. We'll switch to an external camera just to make life easier. We'll move this camera. Oh my days. What on earth is going on? There we go. We'll move this camera down here. And this will give us an idea if we're on the right run or not. So we want to be on this one. Okay, that's cool. Right, okay, so we'll switch back to driver mode. We'll release the brake and we'll get a bit of throttle on. Get this train backed up. Get it back into this siding. Hopefully get these carriages picked up so we can get on our way. We've probably got a couple of pickups to put together here in terms of getting our consist together here. But yeah, that's part of it. So you can see our train's coming back now. Got a bit of a beep there. I think that's mainly due to the change of speed limit. So I notice there's a beep on this Boston line whenever you cross a speed limit. So that's quite good. Certainly gives you that indication. A bit of a warning. Bit of an alert. Yeah. Have you been playing this DLC? Let me know if you've been checking it out in the comments section. I'd love to know what your favourite route is on Train Sim World 2. I wouldn't say this is my favourite by a long shot. I have been enjoying it. I think the main reason that I've been enjoying it the most is because of the amount of trains that seem to be running up and down the line. Which is nice to see. We'll continue to reverse up here. The speed limit is 5 mile per hour. We are breaking that speed limit right now, but that's not the end of the world. What's more important, that we get the brakes on in time, because one of the issues here obviously is not having that automatic brake working. I think when we switched to that lead or dead, I think that was kind of neutralising that brake, which isn't ideal, but yeah, it'll do for now. You know, you've got... I take to think somebody who's jumping into this scenario and not knowing that that's something that you should do, and then just sort of getting caught out by that. It kind of, you know, you would think that they would tell you that or something in the instructions, or have some sort of help guide for that. We'll keep this train coming backwards here nicely on this cold, by the looks of it, winter morning. Not too sure exactly what month of the year this is, should I say. It is 7:39 in the morning, so it's obviously an early start. Right, okay, let's get a bit more power on. As you can see, slow to come up on the throttle there, even though we engaged that throttle a while ago, so it'll be slow to come off as well. But a little blip of the throttle there has given us a bit more speed to reverse up here. keep this thing coming back nicely like this. Still not really what I would say moving at a reasonable pace. We could do with a little bit more there. I think we've done that now. Get this thing backed up to this train here. Yeah, I think 2 miles per hour is probably alright. If we make it. Maybe. Are we going to make it? Speed's coming down. 1.9, 0.8. Come on, baby. Okay, we'll give a little blip on the throttle just to pull up there. So close, but yet so far. Little bit of a blip here, come on. There we go, nicely done. There we go, spot on. Right, a little bit of brakes just while it tells us what to do next. So we want to be forward again and stopping at location, which is further down the track. So I'll just move the camera again, just to give us a bit of a help with that one. Nice to see traffic on the road. I mean, it's not exactly heavy, is it? But it's certainly heavier than what we have been seeing. We do have a red light, obviously, up ahead here, which is about 300 yards from where we are right now. So what I'm going to do is just get back into driver mode, flip this thing forward, release the brakes, and get a bit of throttle on, just to pull us out of this yard. We've got a 5 mile per hour speed limit in the yard, and then obviously once we get out of there, we can accelerate ever so slightly. I can't remember if it was 10 or, oh there we go, 15 miles per hour as we come out of the yard. We want to be making a stop at this marker here. Hopefully we'll see the train come round the corner in just a moment. If we don't, we'll know that there's a problem. Oh, here comes another one past. So this one's being driven by the cab car, should I say. So it's been driven by the car. And this particular unit there at the back is actually pushing and is unmanned and is controlled by the driver at the other end of the train, which is interesting. I mean, but it's, for me personally, it's not exactly ideal or fun to drive from that position. For one, you can't hear the engine, which is, it's okay. I mean, but I tend to not really enjoy those scenarios, and I not really looking to showcase those scenarios on this channel. I prefer to be in the loco and to drive from that position more than anything. Still waiting for this train to come along here. We're going about 10 mile per hour now forward, so hopefully we'll see it come round the corner in just a moment. 15 mile per hour speed limit is coming up. Come on, baby, don't let me down. Where are you? Should be coming round soon, because we've got about, is that it? About 300 or 400 yards now. 350 yards. Looks like it's coming now. You can't see the headlights though. Oh, there we go. Bit of draw distance action there. Headlights popping. We've passed the speed limit now. Restriction, we're back down to 5 mile per hour by the looks of things. What I'll do is I'll just switch to driver mode and knock us down to just cruise. And I'll go, just make sure we're on the independent, although we could do with being on the automatic brake here now. Okay, those brakes are doing little to nothing. Okay, that's dangerously close to the red light there. So we're going to be backing up again into this yard. And now into the next lane in order to pick up more carriages. So we'll do this now. And hopefully everything else is set. Oh, that one isn't. And that one isn't. Okay. Right, so we've got to be careful here really. I think what we'll do is we'll switch to the rear camera like this. And we'll move the camera a little bit here. And we're going to get ready to push back. So what we'll do is we'll switch back to driver mode. We'll switch the reverse to reverse. We're going to release both brakes. So we'll start with the independent brake, because that was pretty useless on its own. Just the loco brake there. And when you've got a train, just having the loco brake's pretty useless. I think we should be switching the automatic brake cut out. to something a little bit more suitable. But I could be wrong. I'm not an expert by any means. And as you can see, this door's open, so that's going to mean that we are, when we're reversing up to the next carriage, we're going to be connecting up, and this part's going to be part of the train now, which is pretty obvious really, isn't it? I mean, state the obvious. But yeah. Right, what we'll do is switch the camera around a little bit like this, just so we can see where we're going. Move back a little bit as well. I'm going to get a bit more power on. I don't want to waste too much time here. And then I'll just release. Now that we're rolling at about 7 mile per hour. Just keep applying a little bit of throttle just to blip us through. Just so that we don't slow down. Because I think we are going slightly uphill here as well. So we've got a nice roll downhill coming out of the yard, but going back in again each time. It's a little bit uphill. Just keep it moving. A bit of a flicker on the graphics there. I don't know whether you can see that on the rail. Just slightly ahead of where we are. I'll just see if... It looks like we're on the right line. We're in the right siding at least. So that's a good thing. Just keep applying a little bit of power. Switch back to the automatic brake and hopefully that'll help us. It did stop us there, so... it's not working like terribly badly, you know. It's not the end of the world type thing. Okay, we'll just keep it rolling back like this. Try not to, smash into these carriages as such, but just keeping it moving quite steadily like this is probably a good idea. There we go, right about 200 yards to push back to these ones. Just apply a little bit of automatic brake here, so that seems to be working nicely, so the brakes on the carriages are nice. Little distance to go here. Just get a bit of power just to keep us moving. There we go, nice look at this. And we'll get some automatic brake on now just to slow us down as we approach. And just we'll apply throttle 1 just so that we don't smash into it. Throttle 2 just to get us moving again, and back down to throttle 1. Just move the camera back a tiny bit like that. And we'll just get the throttle back down to idle and just roll into these nicely. There we go. Interesting to see. Was it the carriages kind of lit up there as we made contact with them? Okay, we can now head down to Providence to begin the service. So we've got all of our carriages. Just have a quick look on the menu, see how many we've got. So we've got 9 bits of rolling stock by the looks of things. So yeah, excellent. Right, okay, so let's get back behind the wheel. And I wish I could find a cab light. It must be here somewhere. Headlights rear. What's this one? Step lights. Gauge lights. Okay. Put the step lights on. I'd love to be able to find the cab light. Where is it? It must be here somewhere. I think if we were to hold down the left stick, that's the horn. Okay, well, it is what it is. You can also use the space bar on the keyboard for that. We're rolling forward, slightly downhill. Okay, well, I guess we're on our way, whether we want to be or not. Right, okay, throttle 2, let's get moving. So we'll just take it steady coming out of here. We've got a 5 mile per hour speed limit. Oh, we're still in reverse. There we go. We were fighting against the roll down then. Right, we'll get a bit of power on, get this thing moving. Let's get moving nicely. So we need to be in Providence for 7:53. It's about 2 miles away, so... yeah, I mean, we've got a bit of an issue with speed restriction here coming out of the yard. So we'll take it pretty easy, but we are going to need to get cracking, really. Don't really have any time to waste. So a version of this train was featured on the San Francisco DLC, if you've got that one. I do enjoy driving it. It performs pretty well. trying to establish whether... I think the braking system's different on this train. You've got an automatic brake as well on the... I don't know. I could be confused here. I might be a bit forgetful. I think I've got a scenario as well on my channel where I drive that train. And I'm just trying to think if you do have a different style of brake. I could be wrong. Where you sort of apply pressure and then you release it in a slightly different way. Okay, we've got a 70 mph speed limit coming up. I'm going to get a bit of power on here. We do have an amber light coming up, so we need to be careful of that. It's about 1.9 miles to our stop. We've got 3 minutes to get there, or about 2.5 minutes now. So we'll just keep getting the power on here. If we need to make a stop, I'll just make sure we're on automatic brake to do so. With all the braking power of these carriages, that should certainly help us to do that without too many problems. Really hope you've been enjoying the farm simulator videos that I've been doing. I'm going to be cracking on with that as a mini-series, but, you know, not for a long time. I'm not going to make it like a massive thing unless it becomes like mega popular. But I am going to cover sort of the main basics of that game. Maybe take it up to about 10 episodes and then see where we are. I did mention in one of my flight simulator videos as well that there is another game that I want to cover as well, and I'll be doing that soon. There is a couple of other games as well. I've got a long list of games that I constantly want to be looking at. It's difficult sometimes to decide exactly what to do with the sort of things changing all the time. Like, you know, this next route for Train Sim World, which is out on Thursday, has only just been announced that that's the release date, so they're coming thick and fast really, and with very short notice. So I wanted to get another Boston scenario in before that one comes out, but yeah, there is other things that I want to do with the channel, to be honest with you, and Train Sim World videos aren't my most popular videos, to be honest with you, but I do enjoy them a lot. So yeah, that's the reason why I do them. It's for pure enjoyment's sake really, more than anything. It's got about 1.3 miles to go to our next stop. Just keep rolling like this nicely. Actually, I think we'll get a bit more power on because this is a 70 mph speed limit here, going into a 60 in just a moment. So we can make use of a little bit more speed really, without sort of rolling to a complete stop. 1.1 miles. Just keep moving along like this nicely, I think. Very smooth running. Look at that. Nice bit of 60 frames per second as well, and generally speaking the draw distance is nice, although it's not perfect, not by a long shot. Okay, we've got 1 mile to go, so what I'm going to do is just ease off the throttle. Oh, we've got a red light and it's coming very soon. Please stop, please stop, please stop. Come on, train. There we go. You hear the engine sort of kick in to help with the automatic stop there. We'll stop here. And we'll just wait for this line to clear. By the looks of things, that's what we're going to have to do coming into this station. I'm glad you didn't get caught out by that speed limit, because that would have been a total nightmare. Not speed limit, sorry, by the red light, I mean, because once you get caught out like that, you literally, it's game over. Good to see this traffic off to the side. Gives it a bit of life to the map, I think. Although that's as far as we can go. We can't really go any more sort of into this neighbourhood, which is fine. But there we go, you can see our train there. Looking very cool. Looking very cool indeed. I'm wondering what we're waiting for here. There's obviously some traffic on the line or something. Let's have a look. See if we can spot it. Well, it's telling us to go there, but we've got nothing but red lights. And there's no other trains on the track. This is curious. Can we request to pass? Now, I also... I remember something being mentioned in one of the live streams where you can have 2 trains on the same track at the same time. But this is a red light. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a save here. I'm going to go... Where's save? Oh, there it is. Y. Okay, we press Y. So the game's now saved. Okay, so if we do mess up here, at least I'll be able to quickly come back to that. Okay. Contact signaler. Proceed at restricted speed. Okay, I'm glad I did that. That means that we can go forward, even though we've got a red light. We've been given permission to do that. Pleased that I did that, because if we just went into that red light, I think that would be game over. And then we'd have to reload. But at least we did put a save in place. So our restricted speed is 30 miles per hour. Let's see if we can take a look from this point. Get a little bit more speed on, I think. Build up a little bit more power here. Oh, there we go. We've got an amber light next. So that's nicely sorted. So we are late now, well and truly, thanks to that red light and not knowing what to do there. But it is what it is. Let's get a little bit more power on. We can go up to 30 here. Although we are getting pretty close to our station, so we don't want to get too much power on. A couple of parked cars over this side. It's nice to see as well. Gives a bit of life to the scenario. Open the window. See if we can hear the engine. Doesn't seem any more louder with that window open, actually. No louder at all. Okay, we'll ease down to just a nice little roll here in idle. Nice and steady. I'll just make sure we're on the automatic brake. I'm forever checking that. As you've seen so far, guys, I mean, you really don't want to be on the wrong brake coming into one of these stations for a stop, because it'll just mess you up big time. Big time. Flicker of the lights there. Any of these switches do anything? Wiper? That's nice to see. At least we know where that is. Okay, so here we are, coming into Providence. Cruising nicely. Could it be making a nice stop here? We've got a red signal, so potentially the end of the line here. Maybe. Don't know for sure. Are our brakes going to work? Oh man, we're on the throttle. I pressed the wrong thing there entirely, so yeah, that would have been my bad there. Okay, we'll just go back down to minimum restriction in terms of the brakes. And just let this thing roll forward here, just nicely. Kind of relieved that the brakes kicked in nicely there, because that would have been an issue. Right, there we go. We'll unlock the doors, like so. I'm going to hop out a second. Just take a look at this platform. And I'll just have a quick look on the map. So there is more to this track, although we are going back eastbound by the looks of things. I don't know whether that'll be us driving though. What we'll do is jump in and set up the cab like it says. This might be the end of the scenario. Might be. Can't guarantee. Let's take a seat quickly. Make our lives a bit easier. So what we'll do is set the cut-off valve to out. Wherever that is. Out. We're going to set these switches to off by the looks of things. There we go. And then the headlights are going to be set to dim. I thought that might have been on a reverse sort of tail light setting. But anyway, front marker lights on. Let's take a look at that. Oh, there's our torch, for goodness sake. How did we get that now? I bet we wouldn't be able to switch that off. Let's have a look. Front camera. There we go. We've got a dim headlights. We've got marker lights on the top, those red lights. And what we're going to do now is switch these to neutral. And then we'll pull this out, like so. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go down the other end. Is it going to let us down? There we go. Whoa. I thought we were going under then. So here we are. Let's take a quick look in here. I haven't had a look in one of these yet. Well, this is quite kind of cool. Not a lot of passengers on board, but I'll tell you what, when I played one of the Teesside scenarios the other night, there was a lot more passengers on board the train, which was nice to see. Plenty of passengers on this platform, especially on that other side there. That's looking really good. Plenty of passengers waiting for a train. Little diorama here. What are you two guys doing? Oh, once again caught out. Two ladies. What are you up to? Is that paint in there? Wow, okay. Right, let's go and take a look then. Let's see what the crack is. And just trying to find those collectibles as well. I didn't find any at this stage. Right, so we're going to be hopping in this end by the looks of things. Get this door open and get it closed behind us again, if I can. There we go. Right, let's take a seat. Okay, so much of this has been done in darkness because we haven't been able to find the cab light, but that's the reverser wants to be neutral. What's next? Compartment's going to be opened, followed by the field generator switching on, engine run on, and the brake control on. What's this one now? So the cut-off valve is going to be set for passenger, like that. And then, what's this one? Headlights are going to be bright. Okay. Get the doors locked. Switches to forward. Release the automatic brake, like so. Make sure the independent's off. Oh, there's no switch up at this end. It's automatic or nothing, which makes sense because we are in the cab. We are in the carriage after all. Apply some power and hopefully we're going to get moving. There we go. Feels a bit slow. Let's have a look. There we go, decent push. £30 mph speed limit. Our next stop is 5.6 miles away. This is pretty cool to see though, isn't it? Put a little bit more power on. There's our friends with the barrow. And there we go, exiting the station. And on our way to our next stop. Let's jump back behind the desk. As you can see, very quiet. Or as you can hear, should I say. Even with this door open, I mean. It's an interesting view, isn't it? Right, okay, let's jump back in here anyway. So yeah, guys, we're breaking the speed limit, unfortunately. Oh, I've pressed the wrong button. I was going to say triangle there, of course, on the PlayStation. We're on the Xbox, but let's continue to build up speed here. Keep the power going nicely. 5.3 miles, 70 mile per hour restriction. Passing our old stomping ground here. Wow, that looks cool. Yeah, I do have to say that's a nice shot. Oh, another train coming in here. Making pretty good progress here. We've got a 60 mile per hour restriction coming up in about 2 miles. Keep things moving nicely along here. Let's have a quick look on the map. So it looks like we're going to be passing our yard in just a moment. See if we can get a nice shot here. See if I can get the camera in place nicely here at the yard. So we blast by. So this is where we picked up our carriages to begin with. Is that our pickup? Looks like it. Right, okay, let's have a look. There we go. So yeah guys, after that nice little bit of entertainment, we've got this road next to us here. Let's have a quick look. Nice multi-lane road. Great to see. I don't think I've seen one on Train Sim World before, so that's good. But yeah, about 3.2 miles to go to our next stop. We are coming upon a 60 mile per hour speed restriction, so we'll just ease off the throttle, I think. We are heading slightly uphill, so that might help us reduce speeds ever so slightly. Hopefully we won't have a problem stopping, although we want to be coming down a bit. Yeah, that 60 mile per hour speed limit, we've just swung round there. Got another little yard off to the right here. It's nice to see. Still got green signals going through, so that's good. At least we haven't had a problem with those as such. Quite a few controls in here that are operational, which is good. Cab light. At last. At least there's one at this end. You certainly need one at this time in the morning when it's dark like this. In this weather. That's good to see at least. So 1.8 miles to go to our destination. We're about 5 minutes behind right now. We'll probably be about 7 or 8 minutes behind by the time we get there. I'm going to put a tiny bit of brake on just to slow us down a little bit because we're just ever so slightly above the speed limit. And I think overall I want to be making a decent stop here as well. We'll just continue just to slow down a tiny bit. We don't want to come blasting into the station at a ridiculous pace. Hitting the station platform at about 30 mile per hour is around about the optimum sort of speed that you want to be coming into the platform, really, so I've heard. I think anything up to about 40 miles per hour is not too bad. you know, it still allows you decent stopping time, even in sort of the slowest braking trains. It's pretty okay, really. Okay, 37 mile per hour. We're gonna have shortly a countdown from 1,000 yards, so that shouldn't be too far away now. Let's take another quick look outside just while we've got a chance. Beautiful at 60 frames per second. I mean, that to me, that's about right, isn't it? I mean, just to see the smooth train running like this makes 30 sort of ridiculous, really, in a lot of ways. I think we always knew it was, though. It never seemed acceptable. But there was no other option, obviously. So, yeah, we had to kind of accept it, but 60 seems so good. But we do have these constant glitches with graphics at the moment, which is strange. Bit of brakes on here. So we're coming in. Brakes are slow to react, both going on and coming off, so yeah, you kind of have to take account for that for sure. Coming down nicely now. Decent stop, about 5 yards out. Get the doors unlocked, like so. So you've got this door right next to us as well, which is kind of odd. Oh, there's a collectible. Get this map on there. Is there anything else along here that we can pick up while we're here? There are only short stops, that's for sure. Some of the shortest that you'll see on this game. So we won't mess around too much. I think we'll get back in, because we're going to be closing the doors and getting on our way in just a moment. So we'll hop up here. Can we close this door? Oh, it's not going to make it awkward for us. Did a little bit. Right, okay, let's get back in. We're going to get ready to lock this door because we are running slightly behind schedule here. So we'll get that at the ready, and as soon as this timer's done, we'll be ready to go. There we go. Brakes released. Let's get a bit of power on. Hopefully we won't spin the wheels. Slip the wheels, should I say. But we do need to get moving. A little bit more. 4.8 miles to go to this one. That's a bit of a slip there. Bit of slippage going on, but we'll ease it back to power 7. Bit more slip. We'll ease it back to 6. You can see the slip because the where it says the speed, you get like red marks either side of it. See if we can notch it back up to 7 again here. Get as much acceleration out of this as we possibly can, up to 60 mile per hour, which is our line restriction at the moment. Back up to 8. There we go. That seems to be okay now that we're moving. See how the engine's doing it, firing away at full power. Beautiful. Very cool. Let's take a look at the head out. Whoa, what happened there? There we go. Nice reflections. I don't know whether that's ray traced or not, to be honest with you. Your guess is as good as mine. Let me know in the comment section if you know. Those little beeps seem to be, you know, once again identifying changes, such as speed changes and things like that. It's certainly not me beeping. I'm not using the horn there, but it does seem to signify some sort of change as we're rolling along. So on full power here, I mean we're going uphill ever so slightly at 0.1%. But it takes a long time for this train to accelerate. I mean, I couldn't imagine it getting up to 125, but that was the speed restriction at one point on the track there as we were cruising along. Just before we arrived at that last station, I think. Another train here. Let's take a look. Oh, a bit of jitteriness there in the engine as the two trains passed. Okay, we're breaking the speed limit, so we'll just ease this thing down, I think. Try to take it as easy as possible. Oh, it looks like we've got quite a big restriction down here in speed. I didn't see that one. Might have been when we were outside the train. Although we're going back up to 60 in just a moment, so it might just be worth letting it roll through here for now at this sort of speed. Keep it moving nicely like this. So about 2.7 miles to go to our next stop. Hopefully we'll get another decent stop in. I'm not too sure how many stops are left. In fact, I think if we hold this down it might give us an indication. Although I don't know how to... Oh, there we go. We can scroll it with the left stick a little bit. Looks like we've got another couple of stops. So we've got Attleborough, what's that? Mansfield, Sharon, and then a junction. So we've got another couple of stops to go yet, by the looks of things. Jump back behind the controls. Thought you might like to hear that power up there just as we went by. Switch to the rear camera. I'm going to try and get us back on track in terms of time wise here. We are a little bit off, to be honest with you, but I'm going to do my best to try and get us back in line. So I'm going to be pushing it pretty hard. Coming to this station a little bit faster, I think, than what I've done with the previous ones. See how we get on. I think I can make a point of cruising here though, just for the time being. So we're going about 50 miles per hour. We've got about a mile to go here. I think we'll just keep the throttle on idle. Make sure we're on the correct brake setting and then just get ready to sort of slow down a little bit here. Minimum reduction so far, and we'll just ease it down a bit more. %, brake. Just going to roll off a little bit of the speed just to get us down to about 40 miles per hour. We'll just ease off the brakes a little bit. I know we're coming in pretty decently right now. Not too fast, not too slow really. Just about right, 35 miles per hour. We're going to be doing like a pretty short stop here. 500 yards to go. Just keep it moving. Get a little bit of wipers on as well, just to get that snow off the window. Switch that off now a little bit. Just reduce it down a little bit. I think 16% seems okay. Great to see another full platform. Well, fullish anyway. Much better than what it was before. The developers obviously made a lot of effort in increasing the activity on the platforms, which is good. Still not perfect, but definitely better than what it was. Right, let's get the doors open. Let's jump out here and have a look. Once again, bit of a fiddly door there. We'll jump out. Just have a quick look and see if there's any collectibles here on the platform while we're waiting. No, I can't see any. We are going to have to set off again in just a sec, so we'll jump back in, I think. Okay then guys, so the doors are locked. We'll just get the brakes off and we'll just get the power on. Just once again applying the same principle from our last stop, just being a little bit careful not to get too much power on all at once. We do have these amber lights coming up, so we just need to be cautious of that. Don't want to run into any red lights because that'll be game over. Oh, there we go. Back to a green light for our next one by the looks of things. Okay, let's just have a look on the main screen here. We'll just go back to our schedule. Just have a look on this one just to see where we're at, because I think we've only got a couple of stops left. So yeah, we've got a stop at Mansfield coming up, and then Sharon. Right then guys, so we'll crack on with this one. Let's keep it moving. So we're going about 33 miles per hour. Got about 6 miles to go to our next stop, so I think we can just continue with full power here. Hopefully it won't be too much of a problem. This is beautiful, isn't it? This kind of winter wonderland here. Absolutely gorgeous. Still not too sure about the livery on this train though. I mean, it's okay, but I think I prefer the San Francisco livery. I don't know whether the purple does it for me. Yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think of it, if it's your bag. It's not entirely my kind of thing. Let's have a quick look. I mean, you got kind of grey, purple, and is that like kind of orange? Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority. So yeah, it's nice and detailed, isn't it? The reflections are really good as well. I mean, you can see there the step lights that we switched on earlier. Very quiet on this side though for some unknown reason. Not too sure why that is, why the sound sort of goes up and down at times. It's very odd. Kinda cool though. Kinda cool to see so many passengers as well riding, which is great. It's normally a case of the train being sort of half empty, which can be a bit odd considering, you know, you're kind of trying to make it as realistic as possible as you go along. Nice long train as well, just with kind of a commuter service here. This is very nice, very cool. And there we are, with our cab light on. Rolling along nicely. Would you have your hands on the controls if you were driving for real? I think you might, you know. But I guess not. I guess not in this scenario. Let's get the window open, let a bit of that winter air in. We look pretty happy with our job, don't we? With that winter air coming in. Not affected by it whatsoever. I switched the reverser to neutral there by accident. I've got a little red mark now over the power. We'll leave that back down to 0 I think, and then back up to 8. That should do it. I think when we put it into neutral there, it didn't really like it, which is understandable. Doesn't really help, does it, if you're kind of at full power and then you switch your train into neutral. Same with the car really. It's not ideal. Ploughing along now, 79 miles per hour. This is the highest speed we've been up to so far on this particular route. 2.2 miles to our next stop. I think we'll just ease down to neutral now and just allow this thing to cruise along. We don't want to be going any faster than that really at this stage, just to allow us time to slow down. Not too sure what those red lights mean, but we're on green, so that's okay. Let's have a quick look over here. Well, I thought there'd be something sort of available to us here to play around with, but nope. Alright, let's take a seat. Okay, 1.3 miles. Throttle's idle, we'll just put a tiny bit of brake on. Try and get rid of some of this speed that we're going. Get a bit more, I think, just to try and reduce it down. With 1 mile to go, we want to be losing quite a lot of this speed now. Yeah, we might be going a bit too fast here. There we go, it's coming down now nicely. There we go, coming down nicely. So there we go, just coming into the platform now. There's another train here as well, so that's nice to see. Okay, we'll just reduce the rest of this speed down now. There we go. That should be a pretty decent stop, I think. We'll unlock and let's take a look at the rear camera. So yeah, the platform's not long enough for our train, look. We've stopped obviously in the right place, but there's quite a few passenger doors there which aren't quite aligned with the station as this other train makes its way out, but we're pretty close to being at the end of the platform here. And yeah, I can see another quick collectible there that we can do. Get this door open, drop down. Get another map on there, we'll do that one. Climb back up. And get the door closed, we'll take a seat, so I think we've got one stop left. We'll get these doors locked, get the brakes off and get on our way with as much throttle as we can manage. Here we go. Bit more power on here as well, just like that. Just got to ease it up just as you sort of increasing in speed, just so you don't have the wheel spin going on. There we go, nicely out of this one. So I think this is our last stop. This next one's about 6.5 miles away though, this one, so another decent run before we get there. Quite a nice neighbourhood shot here. Some construction going on here. And yeah, nice neighbourhood layout. I mean, I don't know what you think of this route so far and in its layout. I generally like it. I don't think it is the most detailed that I've ever seen a route, but it's quite nice. Look at this little siding here. And then this track, which seems to go nowhere. Let's have a look. Oh yes, it kind of just bends round there and stops. But yeah, look at all this here. I mean, this is a straight run here with two tracks by the looks of it, and then it's going to come to a stop. But wow, it's quite a lengthy route, and that's Boston Station there all the way at the end. So once we get to Sharon here, I think, yeah, I'm not too sure what's going to happen next, whether we're going to go to a yard of some description to shut down, or whether we're just going to shut down there, or whether that'll be the end and the AI will take over from there. But yeah, certainly, I mean, we're well on our way, 55 miles per hour. Let's continue to pick up speed as we're about 5 miles away from our next stop. I really hope you've enjoyed this video anyway, guys. I know it's been, it's the last couple of stops have just been sort of routine, really, in a lot of ways, but it's been enjoyable for me just to be able to see more of this route and to drive this train from obviously both ends of the loco, both ends of the consist. So Yeah, it's been great. If you enjoyed it, please do leave me a like. I'd love to catch up with you again in future videos, and if you're not already subscribed, I'd really appreciate if you'd do that as well. By switching on the notification bell, obviously you can catch wind of when I publish any videos. You catch that immediately, and that would be a big help to me personally. Although obviously do feel free to check out more videos as well on the channel, because there is quite a few Train Sim World videos now, and we're obviously picking up with the Farm Sim ones, but there's all sorts of stuff. There's Truck Driver, there's On the Road, and a bunch of other stuff. I want to get back to doing some more Construction Simulator 3 as well. Really been enjoying that game, although I only have a couple of videos of that game on the channel. So yeah, that'll be one for me to go back to really, and to progress on with, because yeah, it's a great deal of fun to play that game, and I want to showcase it more. It's very cheap to pick up, and I think that's a real positive about it. But yeah, it's not a game that's widely known, even though I think we're up to game 3 now of the Construction Simulator series. I don't know whether it was just the first one was PC only, but then the second and third one are available for myself, playing on console, playing on the Xbox. So yeah, it's been good to see. I mean, here we are on Xbox Series X playing Train Sim. This is actually a deluxe edition of the Rush Hour season ticket, so we should have some additional features for the series consoles available to us, although I'm not entirely too sure what those are at the moment, outside of what could potentially be ray tracing, but I'm not too sure whether that is a factor or not, or whether it's just my eyes, or whether I'm just guessing. There we go, guys. Another nice shot from the outside. About 2 miles to go to our stop. As we were aware last time, easing down to idle at about this point seems to be a decent idea. We'll just ease down on, get a bit of automatic brake in play as well, just to get a bit of speed off. Can feel a little bit hairy when you're going around about this speed, and you don't have far to go to your next stop. You just really need to yeah, just get that in. And the more that you slow down, the more confident you become that you're going to do alright without sort of overshooting the stop. Okay, about 1.3 miles to go. I think we'll just ease off on the brake. We don't want to be slowing down too much. And we can switch this wiper off now. There we go. Nicely parked over to the left. About 1 mile to go to our stop. We're going about 50 miles per hour. Start to brake when we get to about 1,000 yards and see how that does us. Okay, we'll just get a little bit of brakes in now. Well, maybe more than a little bit, just to make sure we do a nice stop. Hopefully won't overshoot our stop, although the platform is coming thick and fast. We seem to be getting the speed down quite nicely here. We'll ease off the brakes a tiny bit. Yeah, looks like we're going to be hitting the platform at a reasonable speed. So there we go. A little bit more brakes. Yeah, this looks like a nice station, doesn't it? There we go. Yeah, we've overrun just ever so slightly there. And we will unlock the doors like that. Wow, there's quite a few people running down there. Great to see such a busy sort of environment. Some people taking seats, some people not getting on, but yep. Interesting to see the difference. Quite a few people taking seats actually. I can see that we do have a collectible outside the door here, so we'll hit that one. And then we'll jump back in. And I think this is going to be the end of the scenario, or at least close to it. So, let's just see what happens. Get this door closed again. Take a seat. On our comfortable leather seat. It looks like a doctor's chair or something. So, let's have a look then. We'll get ready to get these doors locked like that. So we do have one stop at Canton Junction, which is right here. Okay, let's see what we're doing then. We'll get the brakes off, get this thing moving. So we'll get back to applying our throttle level of 6 again, which should get us moving nicely. We've got about 3 miles to go to this stop, so not too far really. About half the distance that we've been travelling for the last couple of stops. Just keep it moving quite nicely like this. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens at the end of this scenario. I haven't completed this one yet. It'd be interesting to see how we've done as well. Because we have been behind quite a bit, but I have noticed that it doesn't seem to worry too much about that on these scenarios. It's more a case of how you've driven, if you've been over the speed limit. I mean, we have been over the speed limit a couple of times, especially at the start of this scenario when we were in the yard. But we'll just see how we get on. Just keep it moving quite nicely. So once again, quite a few sort of cabins. It looks like sort of cabins in the woods here. Not too sure whether that's intended or not, but certainly appears that way. Passing another train, so we've seen quite a few, haven't we, on this run? Which, as I say, is really good. Really good to see. I've warmed ever so slightly to driving from this position, to be honest with you. Like I said at the start, near the start, it's not my favourite by a long shot, but I quite like the front of this train. Looks pretty cool, in my opinion. See, that to me looks awful though. I mean, that motion blur is switched on as default on every scenario. Well, every route. Whenever you switch route, you have to go back into the menu and switch that motion blur off. In fact, we'll just do it now because it really gets to me because it looks dreadful in my opinion. So we'll save that and then I'll show you what it looks like without that on. As you can see, you can actually just see the wheels, which looks a lot better in my opinion. Okay, we've got about a mile to go to our stop, so what we're going to do is just get a lot of brakes on here. So yeah, we've got an amber light coming up as well, which will mean we've probably got a red after this one. I'm going to be making sure that we are stopping here. I was slightly concerned because we've got about 1,000 yards to go now to stop. Oh man, this is going to be... Is there any more brakes we can put on? Full service now. Come on, baby. 500 yards, okay. Come on, come on. Looks like we are slowing up. Okay, so we've got 300 yards to a red signal, and then our stop is actually 400 yards away. Let's see if we can contact the signaller again. Okay, we can proceed. Good. So we'll release the brake and get a bit of power on again. And roll through these lights. Once again there, if we hadn't been aware of the lights, we would have been caught out. And it would have been game over. Which certainly is not ideal. And definitely not what you want. Always very fearful when I roll through those red lights because of just the game over aspect of it. But here we go. Full brakes. Make a nice stop here, like that. And we'll unlock the doors. Let's take a look at this platform. Interesting little one. And there's a line that goes off this way. I wonder whether it's possible to drive that one. And where that one, I wonder where that one goes to anyway. If there's a route that takes you that way. Or maybe part of the timetable that goes off that way. Oh, well, there we go. We've completed this scenario anyway. We did it from the map. We've got a gold medal. That's exactly what we wanted to see there, guys. Really hope you've enjoyed this video. I will pop some videos up on screen now if you want to check any others out while we're here. If you stayed with me this far, I just want to say a big thank you for coming through today, guys. And I'll catch you again soon.